Here on RMB's Think precinct, I am standing in front of a major Edoardo villa work called Environmental Sculpture of 1972. It and the Confrontation Sculpture of 1978 have been restored and repositioned in this concourse in conjunction with the Edoardo Villa Trust. It is very important to see these works represented to the public in a mode which in a sense gives them the importance that they deserve. Environmental Sculpture of 1972 is nicknamed by the public as Waves, because we see how Villa uses a series of flat planes and curved planes to create a kind of syncopated form which is very airy. This is one of the most abstract series of sculptures that he produces in the 70s, which are very different to the totemic, the anthropomorphic, humanized volumetric forms that we see in Confrontation. The simplified forms that we see in these sculptures are as a result of his visiting the Venice Biennale in 1969 and seeing fellow sculptors work, Fritz Watruber and Anthony Caro's work. Caro was working with single-planed structures, working with surface, sharp edge, undulation, which we see moving through into Villa's work of the time. We see in this piece three horizontal courses of steel which seem to articulate through space, and initially where they were housed on the grass lawns here at RMB, they tended to feel more like landscapes than human presence. In their repositioning, we see them high here up on a podium, and that they take on a different reading where we have these very bold curves, we have flat surfaces, we have this emphasis on edge and plane, which become the expressive force really for Villa's work. At the same time, these stratified layers of steel seem to read as bold gestures, almost in a calligraphic manner. These pieces, being the most abstract of Villa's career, are interesting because they mark a moment in which he looks at the international movements in the centers of sculptural production in Europe and in the transatlantic. But he chooses to spend his life here in South Africa looking for contemporary African forms, which he embodies in a lifetime of extraordinary sculptures.
The richness of our art collection comes from it being a visual communicator. So really it's up to the viewer to decide what they want it to be. For me, in its new position, it almost resembles clouds, although I know that this piece is colloquially called Waves. It could also be any of the natural contours that you find in the environment around us. Another reason that it's become so much more important is that we've made it accessible. Because quite honestly, art in a locked room is of no value to anyone. By putting it right here, the public, visitors to Sandton, can all see it and enjoy it, and they can look at the versatility of Villa. We've got a couple of Villa's pieces, they're both monumental, and they're both very, very different.